How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon BDSP Wi-Fi battle, and today we're going to hopefully be showcasing Magmortar in the new team that I've made. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this one, and with that being said, let's find ourselves a game. Okay, I found my opponent. They've got a pretty standard looking OU team, which is always nice to see. Looking at his team though, got two fire types, so Scizor's got to be careful, so is Weavile and Venusaur. So I can see Swampert putting in some work here, you know, obviously walls the Gliscor, Infernape, the Heatran as well, they're just walled by it. Got to find a way to deal with the Latios. I think Weavile can handle that. Clefable's there, we've got a couple of options for that, we've got the Venusaur, etc. So I don't see Magmortar putting in too much work in this game, I've got to be honest with you, but you never know. So looking at his team, I'd say it's either a Rotom or a Gliscor lead. But then looking at my team, probably a Jolteon or a Swampert lead, so they might lead with something to counteract them like Latios. So, with that in mind, I think I'm pretty safe to just lead with Swampert anyway. And the battle begins. They're going to lead off with their Rotom, which actually works out pretty well for us, as I obviously lead off with my Swampert. I say it works out pretty well for us. I don't know what this Rotom's going to do. It might want to Will-O-Wisp me, so I think the best thing to do here is to switch into Venusaur. I don't think it'll Volt Switch. I think it's probably going to Will-O-Wisp or just try and Hydro Pump me, because honestly there's nothing my Swampert can really do to touch this Rotom other than set up the Stealth Rocks for later damage. It goes for a Will-O-Wisp. We do manage to avoid it, which is great. Not the biggest deal in the world though. Looking at the current situation, and I'm going to go ahead and assume that they're going to switch into Heatran right now. So I'm going to try and catch the Heatran with a Earthquake. They are going to withdraw the Rotom. Are they going to go into Heatran or are they going into Latios? Heatran it is. Alright, cool. We caught the Heatran on the switch in with an Earthquake, which is always a great start to these battles. However, I do see people DC a lot when this happens. It's just such an obvious switch. Why wouldn't I go for Earthquake? I lose nothing. It's not like Rotom can touch Venusaur, right? So, still don't want to get massacred by this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and hard switch back into Swampert and try and use this opportunity to stop Stealth Rocks without getting burned. So we'll switch into Swampert real quick on this Heatran, and we'll see what it's going to do. Maybe Magma Storm's coming through. Oh, it's going to switch out itself. Venusaur does outspeed Heatran, so I guess that does make sense. And it's going to go into Latios. Now, I don't particularly want to keep Swampert in against the Latios, because Latios is terrifying. So what I'm going to do is, I think I should hard switch into Scizor. Yeah, I think Scizor's the hard switch right now. And they're actually going to withdraw the Latios as well into the fire type. Rotom. Okay, that works. That works. Yeah, that works pretty well for them. So lots of switching in this game already, because I'm not going to keep my Scizor in to get burned. There's no way. So I'm just going to go ahead and hard switch into Venusaur again. If Venusaur gets burned, so be it. Not a big deal at the end of the day. It's not a big deal. Alright, so we're going to withdraw, of course. We're going to go into Venusaur. We'll see how much damage this Rotom can do to us. I think we should be fine. It goes for a Hydro Pump and misses. That is great on my behalf. I'm going to go ahead and expect that they're not going to go for a Heatran switch. I think they'll go for a Latios switch now. So I'm going to go ahead and go for a Sleep Powder, because there's no grass types, and we can just put something to sleep then. They are going to withdraw the Rotom, of course, because Rotom just can't really do anything to me. They're going to go into Gliscor. Ooh, that's actually perfect. The perfect Pokemon to put to sleep. And we miss. That makes up for nothing. I don't like that situation. I guess we've got to switch Swampert. Swampert seems like a good switch. We could... it really depends on what this Gliscor wants to do. It's probably going to go for a knockoff. In which case... But no, I don't stay in Giga Drain. Something's going to get knocked off. I just don't know what it is yet. I guess we could just go hard into Weavile real quick. I don't see the problem. I kind of want to preserve its Sash though for the Infinite. No, not for the Infinite. Not for the Infinite. I just want to preserve its Sash, just, you know, in general. If I can avoid it. A knockoff is coming though, which is frustrating. Giga Drain's not going to do much health. I've got 10 seconds. Let's go for the Swampert switch. That makes sense to me. We'll go for the Swampert switch. We can pretty much wall this Gliscor. Can't really do any damage to us. And then we can fire off an Ice Beam and potentially get some more damage if they're going to withdraw again. Oh my god, he's reading me like a book. Oh, it didn't work out this time though. Oh, ho, ho. What were they expecting to come in? Interesting switch. I guess they kind of thought there's no way I was going to go for a... You know what? We're going to stop this switch in shenanigans right now. We're going to go for a Stealth Rocks. I think Stealth Rocks is the play. They're also going to go for their Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks don't really bother me too much on this team. Obviously, Magmortar's there, but it's whatever. We can deal with it. I do have a Defogger on my team, so it's not the end of the world. Wait, do I have a Defogger on this team? I'm sure I do. I think that's definitely on my checklist that I have. Oh, yeah, Scizor. Okay. For now, Stealth Rocks are up. This should limit the switching by a little bit. So, I'm going to go for a Waterfall. Waterfall's definitely the best one to go for because even if Rotom comes in, Rotom can't really do anything to me. So, I'm going to go ahead and go for a Waterfall. There we go. The Heatran's going to withdraw. If this is an offensive Rotom that comes in and not a defensive one, the extra chip damage from the Stealth Rocks combined with Waterfall is going to be nice to get on it. It's going to minimize the amount of switching it can do. But that looks like defensive damage because I've seen offensive Rotom take a Waterfall and it takes it a lot worse than that. Not a lot worse, but it's definitely took it a lot better this time. And the fact that it has Will-O-Wisp and leftovers as well gives that away. So I think that instead of the play to go into Venusaur, which is really obvious play, they're probably going to go for a Volt Switch this turn because there's no way Swampert can touch them. And I think we go into Jolteon just to block that Volt Switch. I think that's the right... I think that it's a ballsy play because he could go for Hydro Pump and Jolteon's not exactly super bulky, but I want to get Jolteon some action. You know, it's a great Pokemon. I love using Jolteon. Design-wise, it's amazing. Yes, we got the Volt Switch, which actually heals our Stealth Rock damage, which is perfect. So now we can expect them to hard switch into the Gliscor. Pretty sure. And we could go for Shadow Ball just to see how much damage we're talking here, but I don't think we want to do that. I think what we really want to do is we want to go into Weavile. Because Weavile's... this is a tough game. Tough when you're going against these proper OU teams. It's going to be a long one, I think. Because currently we've got no damage done to our team. We're doing a bit better than them. I think we go for Shadow Ball just to see how much damage it's going to do to the incoming Gliscor. They're actually going to stay in. Interesting. We get to do some chip damage to the Rotom, which is fine. Goes for the Hydro Pump. And it does a solid more than 50%, let's just say that. Jolteon. Poor soul. I'm sorry I played that. I was convinced he was going to switch out into something to block the electric Volt Switch that was coming in. If he's going for Hydro Pump now, I think we don't really lose anything by going into Venusaur, so I think this is a fine switch, to be fair. So let's go into Venusaur real quick, and we can just expect him to switch into Latios, I think. Goes for the Will-O-Wisp, actually hits it this time, which is great. Doesn't really bother my Venusaur too much, because from the health that the Heatran is at, and after Stealth Rocks especially, Earthquake will still KO, even if it brings Venusaur, even if it brings the Heatran in. And we do outspeed Heatran. We know that. We know that already. Because I googled it last battle. We're going to have to start making some plays here. Venusaur, what can we do here? I think, personally, we just go straight for a Giga Drain. I think, even if they switch into Heatran, we outspeed and I can just go for an Earthquake and take it out. Let's go for a Giga Drain. It's chip damage into on top of Stealth Rocks. They are going to withdraw. If they go into Gliscor, it'll still be some extra damage. They're going into the Heatran, which is fine by me. Again, we've got Stealth Rocks, and we're going to have this very minimal amount of chip damage from the Giga Drain, which is fine. We can definitely KO this thing from here with Earthquake. Unless the Heatran turns around and is Scarf, but I'm pretty sure we've already seen leftovers on it, right? Yeah, we have. I thought so. Look at me thinking out of the box. Scarfed Heatran. Scarfed Heatran. That's definitely a thing. It could be a thing. It gets Eruption. You could run some Eruption shenanigans with that. But I doubt it. So let's go for a Earthquake. They might switch out again. They're not. They're going to stay in. They're going to... I think he's overestimated how much damage the Earthquake would do, or my opponent doesn't know that Venusaur outspeeds Heatran. Either way, that is a Heatran out of the way. So that's one less thing to worry about. Who'd have thought I'd have took the Heatran out with a Venusaur of all things? Well, I did, because I know I had Earthquake. They're actually going to switch into Rengoku, which is the Infernape. That is a fine switch. I just wonder what I have to switch in. I think Swampert is definitely the right Pokemon to switch in. Yeah, I think Swampert's the right Pokemon to switch in here. Definitely. So we're going to withdraw and we're going to switch in Swampert real quick. Swampert can pretty much wall this Infernape. If he's banded and goes for close combat, there might be the chance that it 2-hit KOs. I doubt it though. There's the close combat. They anticipated the switch. And it 2-hit KOs. Which means, guess what? It's choice banded. Oh, it's got to be choice banded. We definitely can't take another one of those. We know he's locked into close combat. My thought process is that Jolteon's not doing anything for us, so we could sack it. Or we can just try and no. I think Venusaur will get 2-hit KO'd by the close combat as well after Stealth Rocks and the burn damage. I think we're gonna have to sack something here, so I'm gonna make the executive decision and go with Jolteon. It's got to be Jolteon. Sorry, Jolteon. I really wanted to use you, but it's just finding that opening for you to be useful. If we can get the Gliscor out of the way, you can Volt Switch, which is great, but not too great for us, really. So we know this thing's choice banded because of the damage it did to a physically defensive Swampert. We can now switch Venusaur in, and Sludge Bomb will KO. I'm just thinking about what can switch in. Gliscor can switch in. We could technically go into Magmortar and take a close combat. We can definitely take one close combat, barely. I think the best play is to go into Venusaur real quick. I think that's the best play, to be honest with you. We can definitely take a close combat. So I'm going to go ahead and go for a Sludge Bomb. No. Yes. Do I go for a Sleep Powder? I feel like they're going to bring in Gliscor. So I don't want to go for a Sleep Powder. That ship set sail. Let's go for a Sludge Bomb. They are going to withdraw their Infernape because it's banded and it's locked in. Can't go for Flare Blitz. And it's going to go into Gliscor. So Gliscor plus the Sludge Bomb damage. Not the worst damage in the world. Easily healed by the Toxicorp though. So, something to think about. Gliscor does outspeed us. We could go for Giga Drains to try and take it out. I think if we go for Giga Drains to try to take it out, he can't go for Roost because the minute he goes for Roosts, he becomes a ground type, pure ground type, and Giga Drain will just take it out. I think we can go. Right, let's try and see how much damage a Giga Drain does. So let's go for that. See how much it does. We do outspeed, which is unfortunate because it means the Roost thing won't work. But we got a good idea of what kind of damage we can do here. He goes for an Earthquake. It's doing half. Damn, it's doing half. I'm trying to figure out what I've underestimated here. I think what we need to do is go into Scizor. I feel like he goes for Roost this turn. If he doesn't, we can actually grab the KO. Let's go for a Giga Drain. Because we're going to get enough health back to where we can live another Earthquake. We know that. Oh no, but that damage wasn't enough. Wasn't enough damage. They are going to go for another Earthquake though. Which means we potentially could get the switch in. This team's hard to get around. It's a solid OU team. Really hard for me to get around. And unfortunately, he did manage to get the KO on us then. Must have been a crit, I think. I didn't notice. Let's go into Weavile. I didn't want to break the Sash, but we're going to have to break the Sash. Technically, I could have gone into Scizor and Defogged, but at this point in the game is no point. I don't want this game to last longer than it needs to, so I'm going to go ahead and go for an Ice Shard, because it will KO the Gliscor at least. But they're probably going to switch out into Rotom. He actually stays in and lets us claim the KO on the Gliscor. That's actually perfect. I'm not sure what their mindset was there with the Gliscor going down. But I guess this does give them a free switch into Infernape without it having to take any unnecessary damage. Alright, now they're going to send in the Clefable. That's actually not the worst thing for him to switch into me. We can't take a Moonblast. You know that. What's my switch here? I want to go Scizor, but there's something in the back of my mind here saying they predict the Scizor and they go for Flamethrower. So I kind of want to bring in this guy, the Magmortar, and just fire off a Fire Blast just to see how much damage we're talking about. Let's go for that. Let's go for the Magmortar switch. We resist Fairy, we resist Fire, and we resist Ice if he goes for Ice Beam for some reason. Let's bring out the nice big pink Magmortar. Stealth Rocks is a pain, but they do go for Flamethrower, so I'm glad I didn't go into the Scizor. Couldn't really afford to get any more damage on my Swampert. Swampert at this point is probably going to be used as fodder, because it can't take a close combat from the Infernape. That's for a fact. So, with this in mind, I'm going to go ahead and expect them to... Don't know. I think they'll stay in just to scout to see what kind of damage output I've got on this Magmortar. Let's go for a Fire Blast. Yep, they're going to stay in. Go for a Fire Blast. It is doing a solid amount of damage to this Clefable. That is nice damage right there. Nice damage. Goes for the Thunder Wave, unfortunately, which is going to paralyze us and slow us down a little bit, but it's fine. I don't believe Clefable gets Soft Boiled. I think he gets Moonlight. I can see a Moonlight coming. I think we're doing a bit more damage than Moonlight was doing. I don't think they switch out. I think they try and wall us. Let's go for another Fire Blast and just see what we can do. They are going to withdraw the Clefable. Okay, into the Latios. Rotom. That also works. That also works. If it's specially defensive, we got fully paralyzed. That could have been some crucial damage on the Rotom Wash. Oh, that's such a shame. That is a shame right there. I don't know what I can do here. Nothing wants to take a Hydro Pump. This thing doesn't want to take a Hydro Pump, let's just say that. Clefable's weakened, so we can take that out with... Let's go for Thunderbolt just on the off chance that they go for a Will-O-Wisp or something. Or they miss the Hydro Pump, which they haven't. Gonna let Magmortar go down, which is a shame. I'm just really struggling of envisioning in a way we can get around this guy, the rest of this guy's team. The Infernape is frail. Weavile might be able to do something if we can weaken his Rotom a bit more. Might be able to do something. All three Pokemon that we've got left are susceptible to burn. Weavile could Throat Chop it. It's not gonna KO. Let's go Scizor for now. If it burns the Scizor, it's whatever. We're in this unique position where it's like, if we can weaken the Infernape... Let's go U-turn. Just to get some extra chip damage off. He's probably going to go for Will-O-Wisp. There we go. And he hits it as well. But we can get some chip damage off. And by seeing how much damage this U-turn does to the Rotom, we might be able to decide whether or not Weavile can come in and Throat Chop it to death. Man, I'm going to say no. Going to say no to the Throat Chop. I don't know. We don't want Weavile to get burned. Let's go Swampert real quick. There's two options here. Either Rotom takes enough damage. No, either Rotom Will-O-Wisps or it tries to KO. Oh, damn it. They've got 4 left and we've only got, how many? 3 left. So they're winning this if the timer runs out. I'll go for an Ice Beam just to see if we can get some chip damage off. They actually go straight for a Hydro Pump, which might not KO us, since it's a defensive Rotom. There we go. I went for the Ice Beam mainly to target its special side, but also because I was really anticipating a burn. But I guess that's not happening. Which is great for me. I guess they really just thought Hydro Pump would KO. Well, this battle is proof. Well, I think we all know the time is rubbish. I was going to say this battle's probably proof that the time is just pants and we need a longer timer, but I think it's safe to say this guy won this game. I think it's safe to say they won, regardless of how I feel. There's nothing I can do in 5 seconds. There isn't enough time for me to send a Pokemon out and pick a turn. So 3, 2, 1. We lost the game, which is it's whatever. We win some, you lose some. We're going to the Weavile anyway, just to end the game. There we go. And I guess that is it. It was a long battle. The outcome was we lost. Even if we had more time on our hands, I think we still lose this battle because Throat Chop's not KO in the Rotom. And then you've got the Infernape in the back. So there's no way we could have really won that. Which is fine. Which is fine. I'm not salty at all. I'm a bit salty. I'm not too salty. Anyway, thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.